senses. She hugged her knees, seeking comfort in her pajamas. The power flickered, plunging the room into darkness. Lightning illuminated the room, deepening Sarah's fear. The wind howled, sending shivers down her spine. Her heart pounded, keeping time with the rain. A sharp rap on the front door sliced through the symphony of the storm. Sarah jumped, the book tumbling from her grasp. She held her breath, listening intently. Silence, broken only by the wind's fury. Had she imagined it? A trick of her overactive imagination? She chided herself for being silly, fear lending wings to shadows. Taking a fortifying breath, she tried to return to her book. Another knock, louder this time, insistent, echoing through the house like a death knell. Her blood ran cold. This was no figment of her imagination. Someone was out there, braving the storm's wrath. A sense of dread coiled in the pit of her stomach, icy and suffocating. She crept towards the window, peering through the rain-streaked glass, but seeing only the distorted reflection of her own fear. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table, the screen illuminating a message from an unknown number. Trembling fingers reached out, her pulse quickening with each ring. She opened the message, her breath catching in her throat as she read the single line of text. "No need to open the door, Sarah. I'm already inside." The phone clattered to the floor, the words echoing in the silence like a curse. Panic, raw and consuming, surged through her, paralyzing her for a moment. She scrambled back, her gaze darting around the room, searching for any sign of an intruder. The shadows seemed to writhe and dance in the flickering candlelight, taking on menacing shapes. A cold sweat prickled her skin, and her breath came in short, shallow gasps. She had to get out to call for help, but her legs felt like lead, refusing to obey her commands. Section 4, Fear's tightening grip. Adrenaline surged through her, jolting her into action. She scrambled to her feet, racing to the front door. Fumbling with the lock, she secured the deadbolt with a resounding clang, her heart pounding against her ribs like a drum. Each creak and groan of the old house sent fresh waves of terror crashing over her. She was trapped, a prisoner in her own home. Rushing to the landline, she punched in 911, her fingers trembling so violently that she misdialed twice. Finally, the operator's voice, calm and reassuring, filled her ears. But even as she choked out her address, a new sound reached her, the distinct, measured sound of footsteps slowly ascending the stairs. Each step was heavy, deliberate, drawing closer with agonizing slowness. Section 5, Refuge shattered. Panic threatened to overwhelm her. She slammed the phone down, the operator's concerned voice cut off mid-sentence. There was no time for explanations, no time for anything but escape. Her eyes darted around the room, settling on the bedroom door. It was flimsy, offering little protection, but it was all that stood between her and whatever lurked outside. She fled toward it, throwing herself against the wood, her heart pounding a frantic tattoo against her ribs. She fumbled with the lock, her shaking hands making the task feel insurmountable. Finally, it clicked shut. She dragged a heavy dresser against the door, barricading herself inside. The room was plunged into darkness, the only light coming from the sliver of moon peeking through the storm-lashed windows. She huddled in the corner, her back pressed against the cold wall, holding her breath, listening. Section 6, Whispers in the Dark. Silence descended, broken only by the pounding of her heart. Then she heard it, the soft rasp of metal against metal. Terror pierced her like a shard of ice. The room plunged into deeper darkness as the door swung inward. Icy fingers brushed her neck, sending shivers down her spine. A voice whispered, "Don't worry, Sarah, I'm already inside."